This is Pat Soundbites Unplugged. Unplugged. The podcast where all the artists go to tell it as it is. Careers, music, tours, and more. And here's your host, the man that refuses to eat squid, Pat Calamari.
Hey, Pat Calamari here, host of Pat Soundbites Unplugged. Today is Thursday, December the 19th, 2019. Feeling a little bit better. Yeah, Throwback Thursday is not a Throwback Thursday today. It is Tesla Thursday, and I'm not talking car. I'm talking Tesla the band. Great chat with guitarist, songwriter, co-founder of the band, Frank Hannon. What is there not to like about Frank Hannon? Just such a cool, sincere, friendly, down-to-earth guy doing all the right things. Frank Hannon been with Tesla since the beginning. He just put out a single called Southside, as well as a video documentary. It's available on Spotify and all the streaming sources. It's pretty cool, talking about him going back to his hometown, Southside of Sacramento. Frank also has started a podcast, Far Out with Frank Hannon, which is really good. Just pretty much got it started. And he talks about it. It's on all the podcast players, Spotify, iHeart, Google Play. And he's that type of guy that likes to talk to people and see what's going on. He's also a modern-day cowboy, yes, and I say that in the intro, not just the Tesla song. Him and his wife have a bunch of horses. He loves riding horses, has a ranch, and just was involved in a celebrity, what they call cutting event in Fort Worth, Texas, and he explains what cutting means and what it actually is. And it's an event that raises money for cancer patients down in Texas. You got to love this guy. If you want to donate, go to Carity, Careity, Carity Foundation, and you can donate to help that cause. I love Frank. I love all his solo work. I love his albums From One Place to Another, Volumes 1, 2. Volume 2 has Hush and Kiss from a Rose, and covers a lot of great songs, this guy, as a rocker. Covers all these great 70s and 80s type of classic songs. And I sent him an email in October of certain songs that I thought he should cover. And he saw the email, and he just asked me a little while ago to email him back some of those hits. I kind of got him motivated. He talks about the plans for Tesla in 2020. They're going to open up for Alice Cooper. They're going to be part of the Monsters of Rock. And if you did not know, Frank's father-in-law is the great Dickie Betts. And he reports that Dickie has recovered from his health incident earlier this year, and he's doing well. So a lot going on with Frank Hannon. And I hope you enjoy. As always, if you enjoy, please share. Tell your friends. I appreciate it. You could also catch me on WBXO on Sundays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. 103.7 FM locally, or WBXOClassicRock.com live stream. You can assure one thing, I will be playing a few tracks from Mr. Frank Hannon. Sit back and enjoy, live, love, and laugh a lot, because life is way too short. Here's episode number 22 with Frank Hannon. WBXO Classic Rock Redefined in conjunction with Pat Soundbites Unplugged. Always a great day when we got multi-instrumentalists, probably best known as the guitarist, songwriter, and co-founder of that multi-platinum band Tesla, but he is certainly a modern-day cowboy. Great to have our good friend, Mr. Frank Hannon, on the line. Frank, what's going on, bud?
Hey, that was quite the setup, man. Thank you for the intro. It's great to be on your show, man. I'm supposed to be on a break, but, that never happens, man, because I like to rock and keep things going.
Man, you are a busy guy. I was going to ask you to get all your Christmas shopping done, but I'm sure you got to feed the horses, so I don't know.
Yeah. I did get a new Christmas ornament, though, at my last show. Some fans came to my last gig, and they know me well. They gave me a Jerry Garcia Christmas ornament. It's like a VW bus, and it's all tie-dye, and my Christmas tree's that's the only ornament on the tree. I haven't even had time to put anything else on it.
Well, it's all good. We're talking with Frank. Frank released a great single and a really cool video documentary. It's called Southside. Frank going back home to the south side, I guess, of Sacramento. I love the reference to the Moose Lodge. That is pretty cool. What was the concept behind you coming up with this idea, Frank?
Well, I was feeling really nostalgic. One of my closest friends that I went way back to 6th grade with passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A kid named Bobby Reed. And Bobby Reed was a friend of mine who taught me how to play guitar licks when I was, 11 years old. And I just started thinking about my old neighborhood and where I came from, man, and, how lucky I am today to have had such a long career in music. And I just started writing some lyrics about it, and then I had this riff that was pretty rocking, and I just put the two together and made a song that I'm really proud of. And it's totally real. Every lyric in the song is real, which is something that I've really come to a realization is very important when you're writing songs.
Well, Bobby,
real.
Yeah, no, Bobby is definitely smiling, buddy. It's a great song, and I love all the reference to going back home. It's a great thing, and I love the video. And it's on Spotify, Apple, all the streaming sources. I have been playing the crap out of it on my radio show, and I'm going to keep playing more of that. And then you got the Frank Hannon Far Out podcast. Like, you got nothing else better to do. What got you wanting to start a podcast, pal?
Well, I'm a huge fan of Mike Tyson, and I noticed that he was doing a podcast last year, and then some friends of mine recently told me that they thought I would be good at doing a podcast. And, and I love doing radio interviews, like talking with guys like yourself and being on the other side of the mic. And so I like broadcasting, and I love talking, and so, and information and learning about people. And so the idea came up to do the podcast from my friends, and, and watching. I like documentaries. Those are my favorite things. And so podcasts are a fun way to get that out there. And so that's what I'm doing. The Far Out, it starts off, the idea is to talk to musicians and who do other things far outside of music, like me with the cutting horses, or like Frank Marino, he does dragsters, or he used to anyway. So that was the original concept, but I'm going to be talking to all kinds of different people, I think.
No, it's a great idea, and you are such a genuine guy, and you're doing a great job with it. I just started my podcast early November, and I got to tell you, I am like, I pinch myself for looking at all these downloads and the analytics of the countries that are downloading my stuff. And when you get a chance to do that and you look at your analytics, you go, holy crap, man, really? I mean, the Netherlands and France and Canada, the UK, it's all over the place. It's really good stuff. Go check out Frank's podcast, Spotify, iHeart, Google Play, all the great podcast players. Keep up the good work, Frank. You mentioned the charity, the cutting. I know you did the horse riding charity for cancer patients in Fort Worth. I mean, good for you, and I know you've done it before, and I think it's a great thing that you do. Explain to me what exactly is cutting, Frank. What is that term? How does that work?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, and I haven't really talked much about the event since I've been back, and I'm planning on doing a Far Out podcast episode interviewing Jay Novacek from the Dallas Cowboys and Austin Shepard, who's a cutting trainer, about my particular run and the event. That podcast is going to come out in a couple weeks probably, but cutting is a term that describes the activity of separating a cow from a herd. And it goes back to the old cowboy days when cowboys were on horseback and they were riding horses and herding cattle. And if they needed to help a cow that was sick, they would have to cut it out of a herd. Like, I'm talking about if there's 100 cows in a herd all bunched together, the horse would have to be really smart and understand what the rider's thinking and walk into a herd and separate that cow from the herd. That's what the word cutting is. You're cutting a cow from a herd of cows. It's the word is deceiving. People go, "Oh man, is that abusive or is that something bad?" No, it's describing the action of walking into a herd of cows and separating a cow from that herd. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, it makes a lot of sense, and now the word does fit for what the actual job of what you're doing.
So what has happened is the cowboys down in Texas or wherever, and people who ride horses, they've turned it into a very detailed activity that requires a ton of practice, and it's very accurate. And these horses are so smart, man. They will block. They will step from side to side and block the cow, and the cow's running around trying to trick the horse and trying to trick the rider. And it's a really neat. It's almost like a dance, and there's a lot of rhythm involved, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very involved, man. Well, you're a horse person.
Yeah, no, my sister-in-law is a horse person, and we get to go to the farm a lot and love horses. I'm not much of a rider, but I get it. I love it, and we love you more for what you do when you're helping cancer patients out there. Have you ever placed in the event at all, Frank?
Well, that's what the podcast is going to be about. Horsemanship is very humiliating, humbling experience. It's a very spiritual experience for me. It puts you totally in the moment, and things don't go as you expect. 2016, I took second place, which is called reserve champion.
Right.
A lot of luck involved in that. A lot of skill, practice, and time. This particular event, I was doing really well, and I had one little thing that dinged me on some points, but I still rode very well, and I had to keep my chin up and feel positive about it. Again, we raised a lot of money for the cancer patients, and got to meet some very interesting people. The cast from Yellowstone, the new Western with Kevin Costner.
Okay.
The cast has been involved in it. And it was a lot of fun, and we did raise a lot of money for the cancer patients in the Texas area there. So it was good.
Excellent. Can folks, is there a link or a name of the event that folks can donate to, Frank, that I can send listeners if they want to donate to it? Go to your website, maybe?
Sure. It's called the Carity, like Care, Careity, Carity Foundation.
Okay. Carity Foundation. We will send folks there, and it helps cancer patients out. Perfect. All right, my man. So moving right along. Go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Moving right along, I know you mentor a lot of great young musicians, which is really cool. Let me ask you, what excites you most in the rock and roll music scene today? Is it seeing all the talent that's out there that wants to get involved, that wants to, learn from you and try to get into the business?
Yeah. There's a lot of great young players that are playing guitars. My passion obviously is playing guitar, and I'm working closely now with Gibson guitars.
Okay.
And they're the most iconic and best guitars made in the world for the past 125 years, and they have new management now, and the new management is working closely with artists like me and a few others, and they have a program called the New Generation 3. With music and rock and roll, the guitar is the main voice of that, and so it's exciting to find and hear young people that are 20 years old playing guitar, and I've got a few of them that sit in with me when I do my local shows in my band, and I've been mentoring one in particular who's going to go a long way in his career playing guitar, and Gibson guitars is really right now is really taking an interest in that as well, the new generation, and so it's pretty exciting. And there's these kids, man, they're playing Thin Lizzy songs, they're playing harmony guitar solos, they're learning Allman Brothers licks, and it's great to see.
No, that's cool. I got to see a video the other day, I guess one of your solo shows, and you guys did Foghat Slow Ride, and I got to say, dude, that was insane. I loved it.
Thank you, man. What a great song. That song was funny, and I didn't say this in my video there, but when I was a kid, man, I probably played air guitar before I even played guitar. I'm talking about, being 10, 11 years old, to Slow Ride more than any other song. It's such a great guitar song. And the video you're talking about is from my Powerhouse Pub show I did this last Saturday night. And JT Lux and Austin Moe were playing the guitars. And I was just kind of playing some slide guitar along with them. And they were rocking it. And these guys are like 19, 20 years old.
You can just watch the reaction of the guy playing bass, and he was really getting into it. The whole song came out terrific, man. What are we going to do to get you to come over here to the East Coast and do a couple of those shows?
Man, I really look forward to doing that. There's a band on the East Coast called Bad Marriage, and they've opened for Tesla a bunch, and they're inviting me to come out and do some of my Frank Hannon band shows along with them. So we're going to put it together, but, Tesla is going to be pretty darn busy, too, next year. I just got some news that we're going to be opening for Alice Cooper, and we're doing the Monsters of Rock cruise in February. So, again, man, Tesla takes first priority, and then when Tesla's off, hopefully I can get it on the East Coast and do some dates.
No, I understand, my man, and Tesla's a great band, 30-plus years, and I was just going to ask you what's the plans for 2020, but before I jump to that, I love From One Place to Another, Volume 1, Volume 2. When is Volume 3 coming out, my man? I emailed you some songs. I said, man, I got to email him some songs for Volume. I play Hush, I play Kiss from a Rose, I play I Can See Clearly. I love the way you handle those songs. And I know I sent you an email. I think it's like the Box Tops, The Letter, Gary Wright, Dreamweaver, what else? Midnight Confessions. I sent you a list. I'm like, man, we got to get Volume 3 out, Frank.
Man, I know you did. And Gary Wright, we did the other one, not Dreamweaver, but Love is Alive. I got a recording of that I got to send to you.
Yes, please, man. I'd love to get that out. You did a great job in both of those volumes. And I know we were kidding around. I said, I'm going to email you a list of songs, man. I think they fit well. So if you don't, I'll email.
Well,
Go ahead, Frank.
I know, man. You love that record. I really appreciate that. And now you're getting me fired up. I might have to hang up the phone here in a few minutes and go in my studio and see what I got. But after doing Slow Ride the other night, I think I might want to do that. So I'm glad I'm taking a little time to step away from it, because Volume 3, I want it to be better than the Volumes 1 and 2. So now that I've got some new blood kind of firing me up with these young guys. Who knows what new songs are going to come out of it,
Yeah, no, like Volume 1 was like a southern rock, laid-back, acoustic. Volume 2 is more rock and roll vibe, Hush, Aerosmith, Hendrix. But then you get into the Seal. But I think Volume 3, if you think like the Box Tops, Cliff Richard, BTO, Looking Glass, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, simple but great tracks. I think you might got something there. So check over that list, or I'll re-email that to you so we keep you busy.
Yeah. Send me a new list, man. Or send me that same list again. Boy, you're challenging me to some great songs there. I appreciate that.
Oh my God, you can do this. George Harrison, What Is Love, Grand Funk, Some Kind of Wonderful. I wrote down Robbie Dupree, Steal Away, Cliff Richard, Devil Woman. I think Frank Hannon on Volume 3 can really kick ass and take off with this. So I'll see what pressure I put on you, my man. That's cool.
Okay.
All right, so you mentioned Tesla. I was going to ask you, what's the plans? Obviously, you just said Alice Cooper's Monster of Rocks. Tesla is obviously the bread and butter. And you guys, I think, are just You're after the last album that came out that was produced by Phil Cullen and Def Leppard. I think you guys have a lot of momentum, and you're on a great path anymore. So I know that's probably the goal, is to keep that going. So looking forward to seeing you at a Tesla show. We got to roll the dice and play a whole album. Get you to roll the dice again.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Tesla's going to do as far as making a new album goes. Me and Brian were talking about some ideas of collaborating with some interesting people. I don't want to disclose their names yet, but there's a couple legendary West Coast bands that are, from our area that we're talking about maybe working with Tesla. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep producing my own songs. You were talking about cutting just a minute ago. I've got a song that was inspired by cutting. It's called Ride Strong, and I'm going to release that. It's another original song. And I'm going to take Southside and Ride Strong and a bunch of other songs that I've written that I've released as singles, and I'm going to make another solo artist album that's going to be called The Singles, and it'll have some of my songs that I've never put on an album before, like The Price. If people search for me, they'll find that I've got a lot of singles. One of them's called The Price. One of them's called Never Slowing Down. And, I'm going to put Southside and this new one that's going to come out after the first of the year called Ride Strong. And that'll be my next original effort. And then I'm going to do Volume 3 of From One Place to Another.
There you go. Well, you get that, and add that Gary Wright, Love Is Alive to your to that whole EP, the singles. That'd be cool too. Well, but that's now. I'm gonna find the mix of that. Send me an email, man, and I'll find the mix of that, and I'll send that to you, the rough mix of it. You got it. I appreciate that. You know me. I'll be playing it all the way as long as I can. Hey, how's your great father-in-law doing? How's Dickie doing these days? He's doing fantastic. In fact, I just saw an interview that was released by Guitar Player Magazine saying that he may jump on stage with Dwayne and Devin. Dwayne and Devin with the Almond Betts band are really kicking ass right now. And Dickie's doing great. He's recovered from the brain surgery that he had in the fall, and we spoke to him on his birthday just the other day, and he sounds fantastic. Excellent. Well, I'm happy that all has worked out. Our prayers were sent, and love to hear that news. And I met Devin when he was doing a solo thing, and then he merged with Dwayne. And actually, Dwayne got married this year, I saw, and they are kicking ass and taking names. So I definitely got to get to one of the Almond Betts shows upcoming. Buddy, I hope you enjoyed the chat as much as I have. It's always fun to talk to you, Mr. Patrick Calamari. Appreciate you very much keeping it alive and supporting Tesla, and also supporting me as a solo artist. I hate saying solo artist because, you never solo, man. I play with a lot of great musicians outside of Tesla, and I'm just an artist, not necessarily a solo artist. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's all good. No, man, I get it. It's all good. You don't have to be a solo artist. Yeah, it sounds like you're on stage by yourself, and I know you like to jam. You like to get people up there and have a good time, whether it's young musicians or folks that are around, and I know you're a jam type of guy, and hey, whatever works, I'm all for it. Anything you do, I want to push out there, so you send me what you can send me, and we'll keep it, doing my best to keep new music alive on the radio airways, my friend. Wishing you, your wife, the family, a very Merry Christmas, and certainly a happy and healthy, successful New Year upcoming, my man. You too, Patrick. It's great talking to you. My man Frank Hannon at Tesla. Go check out Southside. Go check out Frank Hannon's The Far Out podcast. He does a super job, and we got to keep supporting this guy who takes care of cancer patients and doing the right thing all around. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Peace. All right, brother. Be safe. Bye.